Bradford City continue their 2024-25 league campaign with a trip to Barrow AFC, and in today's video you're going to find out how both teams have got on so far this season, what my starting 11 would be for this match if I was Graham Alexander. My team Bradford City then, we currently sit 10th in the Sky Bet League 2 table. After 22 matches we've got 9 wins, 7 draws and 6 defeats, scoring 28 goals and also conceding at 24, which leaves us on a positive 4 goal difference and 34 points. Our last couple of matches then have been a win, a loss, a win and a draw, so 10 points picked up out of our last possible 15 available. You probably say that is around playoff type of form, but actually at this point in time we're only 3 points off of second. If there's a 7-goal swing and all the results go in our favour, we could go from 10th all the way to second. On the flip side of that though, there's not many points between us and like 18th. I think Notts County in second place are closer to Newport down in 18th than they are at the top of the table, Walsall. It is absolutely mental. In terms of our last couple of matches then, most recently we had a 2-1 win at home to Chesterfield FC. Not a match where either side really produced much quality. It felt like we were a little bit more on top in the second half, but if you look at the stats actually, you would say Chesterfield probably deserved to win the game, but I thought in the first half it was very even, very flat. Not a lot really did happen, but the second half we were creating chances, and the stats, to be honest with you, certainly didn't feel like that at the game. Obviously we go 1-0 down, we managed to turn it around and 2 people have scored who aren't Andy Cook. Anthony Sarcevic got his first Bradford City goal as well, which was absolutely delightful. We also had a 2-1 win at home to Port Vale. Back-to-back home wins was very important for us. Obviously Andy Cook opened the scoring with an absolute worldie, then they equalised just after half time. Just 9 minutes later though, Andy Cook would find himself on the score sheet once more to wrap up all 3 points of Bradford City. The visitors did also pick up a red card in the 93rd minute. Tom Sang seeing straight red for elbowing Anthony Sarcevic, and Port Vale tried to appeal it to get it overturned, and obviously it did not happen. It was a very good win for us though against a very good side. We also had a 3-0 defeat away at Notts County. 3 goals conceded in 4 minutes. Absolutely terrible. Defensively all over the place. Dan Crowley and David McGoldrick once again tore us apart as they did last season. It never really felt like we were going to score in this game. Notts County a very good side and obviously put 5 past Cheltenham yesterday. And just before that one then, we had a 1-0 win at home to Swindon Town. Callum Kavanagh scoring his first league goal of the season in the 24th minute to wrap up all 3 points for Bradford City. Swindon didn't really offer much in the game from an attacking point of view, and it did feel like pretty comfortable 1-0 win despite our poor performance. And we also had a 3-2 win away at Stockport County. Callum Kavanagh scoring a brace, Andy Cook also finding himself on the score sheet. Both of their goals were individual errors from 2 Bradford City players, Colin Doyle and Brad Halliday, but a really strong performance against a very good League 1 side. Obviously no Louis Barry in their squad, but they still do have some very, very good players, especially when they're playing against a League 2 side. Compared though to Barrow AFC, they currently sit 17th in the Sky Bet League 2 table. After 22 matches, they have 7 wins, 6 draws and 9 defeats, scoring 21 goals and also conceding 22, which leaves them on a -1 goal difference and at 27 points. Their last couple of matches then have been a draw, a loss, a win, a loss and a draw, so very inconsistent, and probably say form which deserves to be around 17th in the table at this moment in time. Just 1 win in their last 5, but only 2 defeats in their last 5 as well. So they'll be looking to start being a little bit more consistent. But their last couple of matches then have been a 1-1 draw away at Tranmere. 32 shots in this game, just the 1 goal for either side. And you look at the manner that the goals were scored in, an own goal and a penalty. Not really much quality on show, especially in the final third. And Barrow will probably see that as 2 points drop because Tranmere have had a really poor season so far. They also had a 3-0 defeat away at Salford City, who did end up going down to 10 men in that game. Again, Barrow had lots of shots but were terrible in front of goal. 15 shots but only 2 on target. The possession was quite even in the game, but Salford really clinical in the final third, and obviously they're up in the playoffs at this moment in time. They also had a 2-0 win at home to Fleetwood Town. I think this was Charlie Adams' last game as the Cods manager. In this one, Barrow again 14-15 shots. That seems to be quite consistent for them. 8 of them on target, which is much better. They got 2 inside the first 10 minutes, and obviously it was very nice for them to finally get back to winning ways. They also had a 1-0 defeat away to Walsall. Very good side, obviously top of the table, winning loads of games. I think they're 12 points clear from second at the moment, so going away to Walsall, only losing by 1 goal. They've certainly not disgraced themselves in this game, but again it is another defeat. And then just before that one, they had the dire 1-1 draw in the reverse fixture on the 3rd of December. So we've obviously played a little bit more football than our opponents recently. Obviously I think we played 2 or 3 games more after this result, but it was a terrible game in all honesty. Both sides didn't really deserve much out of the game. For this game, if both sides could have lost it, both sides probably did deserve to do so, because it's an absolutely horrible game of football, to be honest. But before we do go any further with today's video, don't forget to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 50 likes on today's video? That'd be massively appreciated. And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. What is your score prediction for this match, and what would your starting 11 be as well? And thank you all once again for the support on the channel recently. The match previews, the views, the likes, the comments has been absolutely incredible, so thank you all very much for that. Now, building a starting 11 for this game was pretty difficult to do so, because we've picked up a few illnesses and minor knocks recently, so I don't know who's going to actually be available, but I've built my team on best case scenario. But again, there has been players, we were told Corey Evans might make Notts County, and then we're 10 days on from that and he wasn't even involved in the squad yesterday. So people like that, Paul Huntington came up with a potential calf problem, but it sounded like they brought him off just before they actually became an injury, if that makes sense, against Port Vale, but then not in the squad against Chesterfield. Lewis Richards not in the squad against Chesterfield either. So I've gone with best possible case, best case scenario. Hopefully we've got a lot of players available for this one. I would stick with the 3-4-2-1 formation, but I would definitely make a couple of changes. Obviously Alexander made a substitution just after the half an hour mark, which shows, I would say, signs of a good manager. He's not scared to admit when it's wrong, and yes, it wasn't very nice for J Ben. I'm sure he probably does understand that it wasn't specifically his fault. It was just more of a tactical thing. But in goal for me then, I would stick with Sam Walker. I would maybe suggest that he could have potentially done a bit better with the Chesterfield goal yesterday, but I'm not going to criticise him too much for that. There's obviously a lot of bodies dropping down to the floor inside the penalty area, and the ball's kind of past him before he can really react, but it is kind of straight at him and it just seems to go under him a little bit. But I'm not going to be too critical of him, because obviously I have been fairly critical of him so far this season, but I would still stick with him in between the sticks. Hopefully we do bring in some more competition in that position. In terms of my back three then, at right centre back, I would stick with Aidan Baldwin. I wouldn't say I've been massively impressed with him over the last couple of games. In all honesty, I think the last 3 matches, I don't think he's been anything above a 6 out of 10. He's winning a few more headers, but at times his concentration seemed to slip a little bit against Chesterfield. He's given the ball away quite a lot, in all honesty. And it's not just a case of, well, he's not necessarily got the passing option on. It's just he dilly-dallies on the ball a little bit too much and then ends up getting his pocket picked. So I need to see him switch on a little bit more, but we don't really have much other competition to play in that position. Obviously Callum Johnson injured, Chet Diabate not fancied, so I would certainly stick with Aidan Baldwin. In the middle, hopefully he's fit, I would go with Paul Huntington. I don't think Neil Byrne was amazing against Chesterfield. Again, I don't think he was poor, but he does go off the ground far too easily for the Chesterfield goal. If Paul Huntington isn't fit, I would go with Neil Byrne, but I'm hoping that he is available for this one, because apart from Notts County away, I think Paul Huntington has proved to be a very, very good player so far and a good signing for Bradford City. At left centre back, I'd stick with Kieran Kelly. I thought he had a really good game against Chesterfield. There was the odd time where Markande did get the better of him, but he was very physical, very aggressive, and I thought he had a really good display against Chesterfield, so I definitely would keep him in the starting 11 for this game. I do believe Jack Shepherd will now struggle to get back into the starting 11, especially at left centre back. In terms of my midfield four then, at right wing back, I would stick with Brad Halliday. The last 2 matches, I think we saw similar performances to what we saw of him last season, and that is obviously really positive signs. When J Ben came in, obviously displaced Halliday, then Halliday was having to play out of position at right centre back in the back three, but Halliday's kind of had to be very patient and he's worked his way back into the side, and I certainly do believe he has taken that opportunity in the last couple of matches, so fingers crossed he can maintain that performance level. As my 2 central midfielders then, first I will go with the captain, Richie Smallwood. Just one of them 7 out of 10 classic small performances. He just does his role in the midfield, sweeps things up, mops things up, and I think he just played really well, to be honest with you, so I'd stick with him in my team alongside Alex Patterson. Another assist for him. Great team back in the team against Chesterfield. Obviously missed the previous 3 matches through suspension, and fingers crossed now we can see Alex Patterson from January to May or June. I just don't want to see him pick up any more suspensions, injuries. We need to see him consistently in this side because he's such a big player for us, and obviously he's absolutely excellent alongside Smallwood in that role. At left wing back, I would go with Lewis Richards. I'm hoping that he's going to have overcome his illness, obviously not in the squad against Chesterfield, but I don't think Tyreek Wright offers enough, in all honesty. Played 75 minutes and I couldn't tell you really much that Tyreek Wright did. His touch at times is pretty poor, which means his second touch then has to be a tackle. Defensively, his positioning isn't great. I see a lot of the fan base call him lazy, whereas Lewis Richards is proven this season to be a very good player. I think he's come on leaps and bounds from the previous campaign, attacking, going forward, puts in some great crosses, constantly beating his man as well, and defensively is pretty solid. So hopefully, if he's fit and available, I would bring back in Lewis Richards. If not, I think you probably then do have to play Tyreek right there. As my two at number 10s then, at first I would go with Anthony Sarcevic. I think when you play him a bit further forward, you see the quality that he does bring. Plays a big part in both of our goals, wins the ball back originally, beats a couple of Chesterfield players before then playing the pass into Alex Patterson, and him and Bobby Poynton then do the rest of the work. And then obviously our second goal, great press from Sarcevic to force the mistake really from the Chesterfield centre half, rounds the keeper and tucks it away nicely into the back of the net. Obviously he's had a frustrating season so far with injury and hasn't quite hit form. Now though, I'm hoping that we can get the best out of Anthony Sarcevic and we see him go on and get 10 goal contributions between now and the end of the campaign, especially with George Lapsley now joining the football club. There is a bit more competition for these places. Obviously he won't be available though for this one against Barrow. And as my other number 10 then, I would go with Bobby Poynton. I thought his omission from the starting 11 against Chesterfield wasn't a bad idea, but who was brought in for him in Tyreek Wright? I do think that was a poor decision from Graham Alexander. If you're ever going to play someone in a number 10, it cannot be Tyreek Wright over Bobby Poynton. I don't ever see a world in which that is the correct decision, in my opinion. Obviously, scores the equaliser, gets us back in the game. I think he's now our second top goal scorer in the league. Yes, it's only 3 goals, so there was a lot of people tied on 2, but obviously Poynton loves a goal at Valley Parade and a really nice finish as well. Thought he once again changed the game and definitely deserves to start once more. Scored in this fixture last season as well. As my striker, I would stick with Andy Cook. I don't think he was involved in the game too much. At times was winning aerial duels, at times was getting put in a headlock. I don't think he was amazing, but I certainly don't think he had a bad game whatsoever. Didn't really have many chances in front of goal, certainly not many that I can remember off the top of my head, so I would still have him leading the line. Hopefully we bring in some more striking options. Rumours of Michael Mellon, Josh Stones as well at this moment in time. He could potentially be joining the club in this winter window. On the bench then for me, that would leave Colin Doyle, Jay Bennett, Jack Shepherd, Corey Evans hopefully will be back for this one, Jamie Walker, Clark Adore. Obviously this will probably be one of Clark Adore's last few squad inclusions that I do give him unless we go through another injury crisis, because Lapsley will be taking that position on the bench for me. Then obviously you look at some more potential signings as well. Clark Adore, I do believe it would be best for all parties if he does go out on loan, and also Ollie Sanderson on the bench as well. The players currently unavailable then are Callum Johnson, George Lapsley, Joe Adams and Verdane Oliver. So the players who miss out then through selection will be Zach Hady, Chet Diabate, Neil Byrne, Gabriel Wadsworth, Tyreek Wright, Callum Kavanagh, Tyler Smith and Harry Ibbotson. My score prediction, I'm actually going to back the Bantams for an away win. I'm going 2-1 to Bradford City. Let's hope we can make it 3 wins on the bounce and 4 wins out of 5 in the league. That would obviously be absolutely massive and would certainly put us in that top 7. I can't see all the teams above us winning, but I guess this league is crazy. The quality of it isn't amazing apart from really Walsall so far this season. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. 50 likes as always will be massively appreciated. Get your score predictions in down below and I'll see you very soon for another one.